Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill,
and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWit.
Hi there.
Welcome to our show today. In this episode, Jill and I talk about why investors don't need real estate agents. Another wonderfully written title by Jill. We'll find out why she's writing this week. Why she's writing these titles this week in a few seconds.
Uh-huh.
Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of the members on the landacademy.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Mike wrote and asked, apparently a lot of folks are having success selling land on Facebook. Can you share your procedure and or the groups you're posting to? Perhaps you can recommend a tip or resource. Thanks. Oh, I have one.
I have a lot to say about this. Go ahead.
Okay, well, my favorite tip is, if you have it on the right selling site, like, LandPin, you push a button and it posts it on Facebook for you. And it posts it to your account where you're signed in. / however, I'm sure. And then you can share it all over the planet from there.
Yeah, here's a short answer. You can reach probably 1.6, well, between Jill and I, it's 1.2 to 1.6 million people by the push of a button right out of LandPin. And you can do it not only with your property, but with everybody's or anybody's that's posted on there. So if you want to promote yourself and you don't have any property to sell, we designed it this way. You just press a button on LandPin and it draws a huge amount of attention to yourself.
That's true.
So you can use other people's properties to kind of piggyback on your own, building your own following, let's say, for rural land. So we've spent a lot of time on this, and it's please just go to LandPin, click on any property, and at the bottom you'll see all the share buttons, Facebook, Instagram, the rest of them. You can do it on all of them.
Well, I was going to say, the whole point of this is, Mike, it's reach.
Yeah.
That's
why it works.
That's it. You're just trying to reach somebody, and that's just one more way between Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. Who knows, where that one person is. It could be somebody sitting on Twitter looking at tiny houses and tiny cute curtains. Who knows? I'm not kidding. On Pinterest looking at curtains for the tiny house to go on the piece of land they don't own. Seriously, I'm sure this happens. And here comes your land, and you reached them, and and that's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
You never know. So don't discount any of that.
And then the second part of your question is, what are the names of the groups? There's a million Facebook groups that are really special. Not a million. There's probably 30 or 40 that are super ultra specialized in rural vacant land or any type of vacant land or investing. And just sign up for all of them. And when you post it from LandPin, you can select which group it's going to go into, or you can just share it into a group through your own, through where it got posted. It's really, just horse around with it for 15 or 20 minutes and you'll see how powerful it is. And then my final point here is, if you want to get into Facebook ads, and we do this for very specific stuff like podcasting, but Facebook ads are incredibly inexpensive and effective because you can reach the people that have identified themselves as podcast listeners or rural vacant land buyers. That's why it's so effective. So I would heavily encourage you and anybody else to really look into. I'm very vocal about the fact that I didn't get a username on Facebook until late 2000s. So I was one of those guys boasting, "Oh, that Facebook thing is silly." Well, it's not.
I know.
It's incredibly effective.
Well, and that's why we're here to save you. I say that all the time.
That's why there's two of us doing the show.
We made a lot of mistakes. We can save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, and a lot of frustration.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com. Today's topic: why investors don't need real estate agents. I love this topic, and Jill wrote all the topics in all the shows this week, and I'm just kind of the bystander, but I do have a lot to say about this. It's one of my hobbies. Take it away, Jill.
Well, I'll start it, and I want you to weigh in a lot here. this is a question that I get often because people can't seem to fathom the idea that you can buy and sell property for yourself, as yourself. So, and that's the key. You are your own investor. You are buying the property. You're not representing anyone. You are an investor. You may be buying property for $5,000 or $500. It may not. It's not that it has to be $500,000 to be quote unquote an investor and doing your own deals. You're buying these assets. You're taking them in under your name, your company, however you want to do it, and then you turn around and marketing and selling them as yourself. You are the owner. You are selling the property to the end user or whoever is buying the property. You don't have to have a real estate agent. And for some reason, it seems real easy for me to explain it like that, but for many people, it's hard to kind of grasp. It's kind of like buying a car. I don't have to go to the Toyota dealership to buy myself a used, Sequoia. I can actually get out the newspaper, or not newspaper, how funny is that? But I can get online, I can go, cars.com, whatever site, Craigslist, I could buy it from my neighbor down the street. I don't have to say, okay, great, now let's all go down to the dealership because they're going to complete the transaction for us and take a piece of it in commission. It doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
And I'm talking, when I say investors, I did not even specify the property type here, by the way. It could be vacant land. It could actually be something with a structure on it. You don't have to go through an agent. You can do your own title. You can do your own escrow if it's some real big deal like that. So
yeah, I mean when we started this, I just thought it was something that everybody understood, and it comes up consistently now. And so now you do not need a licensed real estate agent to facilitate a transaction for you. For sake of clarity, the reason that agents get a license and are required to get a license is because they're representing other people in real estate deals, whether they're buying or selling property. And Jill's right, any single property type, they're representing somebody else. They're playing with somebody else's money, or they're giving advice about their opinion, theoretically, about an area that's good or bad or any of that. So that might have been really valuable in 1979, before the internet. Mm-hmm. So if you ever listen to any other episode on this program at all, you know how we stand on this. It's just not necessary. In fact, I think it's gotten to the point where it's getting in the way. Mm-hmm. If two guys meet in a coffee shop, and one says, I want to sell my farm. I'm thinking about selling my farm. And the other guy says, I'm thinking about buying more farmland. Do they need a real estate deal to finish that? No, not at all. All they need is, really, they need nothing. If they could go down to the county courthouse and record a deed on the back of a piece of, on the back of a napkin, and it's a valid deal. And it's recorded and it's over. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get too technical. They need a lot less than that, actually, for it to be a real deal. So real estate agents came about because back in the day, there was always a socialite, and they were putting deals together. So think of that coffee shop situation, and think of the person that's always there just kind of being a socialite, putting deals together. Mm. Then it was valuable.
Right.
They had inside information, social stuff. They knew everybody in town, what was going on in their families and stuff. So, but now, with the internet, there should just be a place, hint, hint, there should just be a place where you go and you say, I'd like to sell my house, and put in the information, and it's for sale.
I wonder, I was just thinking too, you brought up a good point, because what we do so much is cash, and then we do seller financing on the sale side if needed, but most of it's cash. So I'm sure a lot of this came about too when there were lenders involved. That does make a little bit of a difference. And that's why, again though, even if there's a lender involved, there's a thing called FSBO from still that start. When did that come up? In the 80s? I think people started to figure out the whole FSBO, for sale by owner.
I think it came about long before real estate agents were around.
Oh, okay. Because that's true. It was that way, and then it became real estate agents, and then it was like, oh, what do you mean you're doing a FSBO? Oh, what is that?
You know what it is? It's just easier. We all fall back, not all of us, but we all fall back into just being kind of lazy. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go buy a car at a dealership. There's a lot of ways to buy a cheaper than the dealership, but we do it because it's like, we're pressed for time. It's Sunday or Saturday.
Big selection.
I have to go to work on Monday and my car doesn't work. Yeah.
They'll take care of all the financing for me. All I got to do is sign.
So is it the right way to do it or the cheapest way? Almost always no. But it's the most convenient. So it's the same thing with houses. You know, you just, that's just how it's been done, so everybody's kind of happy. And then to make it even to further, to dig the stake further in, the multiple listing service, you know, which is their answer to the portal for all the property, quote unquote, that's for sale, is I just have a lot of real negative things to say about this.
I know. It's like we're kind of brainwashed.
Yeah.
We think that, oh, watch the MLS, the best deal is going to pop up. You got to be ready, watch it every day, get up in the morning and search it. And what about all the deals that didn't hit the MLS?
There's way more.
I know.
There's way more property
Exactly.
that's for sale right now that's not on the MLS.
Yeah.
And how do you find it? By sending people a letter. Send them an offer and make it easy.
Exactly.
We do it all the time. Our members do it all the time. So, no, investors, what's the whole point of investing is to make money. So the cheapest way to buy real estate by leaps and bounds is to contact owners of real estate directly. We do it by mail, by direct mail, and we're starting to do it in different ways, in creative ways, or have them find you and buy their deal, buy their property.
Exactly.
Sometimes we do it with title agents. Sometimes, Jill mentioned earlier, we do it with our own title. We do our own title plant work. We're making that resource available. We do it now in house. We're making it available to all our members shortly.
Right.
On a website called TitleMind.com.
Right.
So you need, for some reason, if you're going to get your nails done, you need a licensed person to do it.
Isn't that funny?
But you do
There's
not
a good
need
example.
a licensed real estate agent to buy or sell your house.
Right.
You can do that yourself.
That's really
I guess
funny.
you could do your own nails too, though.
I could do my own nails too. Exactly.
You would
That's a
never
really good
do
example.
your own nails, would you?
you know what's
Have you ever done your own nails?
Funny about that? Of course. Not often, but I do. Oh gosh.
What year was it?
Silly. No. Here's a funny thing you just brought up though. The number of licenses, I just remember like here in the state of Arizona, our governor, Doug Ducey, I think he was setting out to get rid of some of the licenses because there's like hundreds and hundreds of things that require a license. It's almost like to change someone else's bike tire, you have to have a license. Not kidding, because barbers have to have a license, hairdressers have to have a license, everybody has to have a license. And it's some of the things doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right.
You know, that you really I really need a license to, like it's crazy. So there's too many licenses out there, but I don't mean to give them a hard time. I just want to make sure that, gosh, at a certain level, maybe financially, or maybe because your time and your job and your family, whatever, you need an agent. You're moving somewhere way across country. You do not have the time or the resources to get to know the areas. Sure, that makes sense. Pick a great one.
That's right, Jill. Or you're relocating.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And they're going to earn their whatever and their money, and
they're going to earn their fee.
Exactly.
And that's the big difference, Joe. You nailed it. If you're doing a deal and they're just slapping a sign on the ground, taking 3 pictures, putting it in the MLS because you live in a market like in Southern California where everything sells in 13 minutes, all they're doing is getting in the way of your deal.
Right. So that's some of it. That's true. Because, how many people have we talked to that said, I don't know why it's not listed yet. I thought I got it ready for the photographer and then this and, oh my gosh, I guess I'm going to have to hold my own open house. Not kidding. Yeah. I had people said I held my own open house and I baked the dumb cookies.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. But yet there's some agents out there that I do know some agents that have literally rolled up their sleeves, shown up on a Saturday and helped rearrange furniture. And there's not a lot of them, but I do know some, and that's cool. But
we're working on a portal so that anywhere in the country you can input a very small amount of information and say, I do want to sell my house, and nobody gets in the way. Right. Nobody gets in the way of the deal. It's then for sale.
Well, let me run this.
That's it. And then we facilitate the transaction. We don't represent anybody, and for a very small fee, that's what happens.
Right. And it's going to be like, it's just going to be the cost of doing business pretty much for us, not like 6% or something, or 3% times 2 on both ends.
Exactly.
So here's my thing on that too. If I'm selling my house, by the way, I could either go through an agent and pay them the money, so I got to mark it up that much, and it might sit longer because I had to mark it up that 6%, or I don't mark it up that 6%. I go on this website, Jack, that we've got coming up someday, or just even the way we're talking about, just do it on my own. Hey, I'm listing my home by myself, and I'm saving you and I 6% on this deal. I'm happy with that. Hope you are too.
I mean, it turns out that we're experts, and the members, our members are experts at getting the word out that a piece of property is for sale for less than retail value. I mean, that's what we all do for a living after we find it.
Yeah. If you're actively on Facebook, I'd be very surprised if you've never seen a home roll by your stuff for sale.
Marketplace.
There's a reason why people are doing that, and
Absolutely.
It's brilliant. Thank you, Jack.
I love this. I love this title, Jill.
Thank you.
Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
And inspiration, that's me.
just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Thank you for letting me have this week to get a
Yeah.
few things. I just had a few points I had to get across.
Heck yes.
So, and
It's a blast.
Thank you. So,
No, it's not so much that real estate agents are awful. They're not. In a lot of cases, they really are necessary. But the way that technology, for whatever reason, has changed a lot of things. Think of Uber and just really the way that we're connected has changed a tremendous amount of stuff. It has not, for whatever reason, trickled up or down to buying and selling a house.
I know.
And I think we're going to change that.
I think we are.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land,
for half price just so we can flip it for way more.
and really fast. Thanks for listening.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.